And now for more on the latest situation in the Middle East, we're joined today by Professor Moamen Gouda, Professor of Middle East Economics at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. Professor Gouda, thanks for coming on today.
My pleasure.
So the U.S. military says a service member was killed after an Iranian attack in northern Iraq, and this comes a day after an attack in Jordan killed 2 U.S. soldiers. So how might these attacks affect the course of this war going forward?
Well, already the U.S. media and the U.S. government is saying that it's retaliating against such kind of aggression. So U.S. is using this more or less as an alibi to continue its strikes on Iran. We have to remember it's now 9 days since this wave of strikes. U.S. will not stop soon. And actually, to be honest with you, nobody knows what's the end game for the U.S. With these strikes, President Trump said that he's trying to push Iran to sit on the negotiating table, but still, it's not really clear what's the end game. And the problem is that this kind of conflict between the two sides, it can lead to miscalculations, which can lead to a full-fledged conflict and more war in the near future. So we have to wait and see what will happen. But considering the killing of the U.S. soldiers, I think this kind of attacks and this kind of casualties will continue to increase on both sides. Of course, Iran is suffering more, but we'll have to wait and see what will happen the next few days.
Right. And Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei says Trump's signature is worthless and invalid, and accused the U.S. of repeatedly violating the deal signed last month. So what does this tell us about Iran's thinking?
That's a great question. Actually, we have to remember that usually the Iran Supreme Leader so far, his speeches and his rhetoric is usually aimed at the domestic public. So he's sending a message that he's still there, that he's still capable of communicating, that he's still on top of things. Also, one other thing is that they want peace, they want negotiations. They are saying that Trump's signature is worthless and invalid. So that means that Iran wants to go for diplomacy. But the thing is, it's not really clear if Iran really wants to do this. I mean, at the same time, the strikes against Arab and Gulf countries is actually increasing. So Iran is giving two rhetoric at the same time, two speeches, one with war and another trying to get into diplomacy. It's very frustrating, to be honest, but again, this is the sign of times, it seems.
Right. And Kuwait says one of its main facilities was hit in an Iranian strike. And I understand this damaged one of the key sources of drinking water in that small desert nation. So how serious is this, both for Kuwait and for the broader regional economy?
This is absolutely serious. We have to remember that 90% of water, drinking water and water for Kuwait, is coming from desalination. So this kind of attacks is really very, very hard to accept. And to be honest with you, I've been following Arab media and Gulf media. There is huge amount of fury and rage against Iran. It's not really clear why Iran is trying to do this. Of course, they are trying to do this to send a message that U.S. cannot protect you and so on. But if Iran wants to do this, why do you want to shoot your allies? I mean, Oman and Jordan and Kuwait and so on. So far, we didn't get any problems with them. You know, if you're, and Arabs are saying, if you are so powerful, why don't you try to hit Israel instead? So there is huge amount of rage, huge amount of saddened emotions towards Iran. And I think the situation will start to increase from now on to a series of problems that we cannot stop. So we will have to wait and see what will happen.
I see. And for countries outside the Middle East, one of the biggest concerns is the energy concerns. So how do you see the situation around the Strait of Hormuz unfolding from here?
Unfortunately, this is bad news for everybody. So far, we have to remember that the oil prices, although it increased significantly, but the amount of increase is not yet what we have estimated. And when I was talking about I'm saying economists. Economists estimated that the amount of increase in prices is much more than that. This is because mainly this price did not increase because China cut of its imports of oil. Also, OPEC countries increased their exports of oil, but this kind of behavior is not sustainable. We have to remember this. The oil prices, if the war continues to be like that, if the conflict continues to be like that, it will increase tremendously, and it will affect everybody here in Korea, in the Middle East, in Iran, in US, in Europe. So this is bad news for everybody. This inflation wave will really hit us very hard by the fall if this kind of conflict will stop. So we have to hope that this kind of conflict stops, that negotiations start, that we have a new page, that we have a new start. But so far, things are a little bit on the downside. So I just hope that things are getting better in the future.
Right, right. We'll have to wait and see. All right, Professor Gouda, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.